Hey guys, it's Chainsaw Gears 12 here. Sorry for the video being a day late. If you saw the video yesterday I put up on Wednesday night explaining it, then you know what the deal is. If not, I was trying to use my iPhone as my camera, and the video screwed up. So here is, I'm recording back on the camera. So anyways guys, as you saw at the opening of the video, I'm reviewing Iron Maiden's The Final Frontier. Let's go through the track listing before I jump off into talking about the songs and everything and all that good stuff. So, starts off the album is Satellite 15, The Final Frontier. Number 2 is El Dorado. Number 3, Mother of Mercy. Number 4, Coming Home. Number 5, The Alchemist. Number 6, Isle of Avalon. I'm pretty sure I say it. I think the S is silent. Number 7, Starblind. Number 8, The Talisman. Number 9, The Man Who Would Be King. And number 10, When the Wild Wind Blows. Now, a little backstory before I get off into this album. This album was written, I think in 2010, maybe some 2009, but I think it was released 2010. Could be wrong. I haven't really looked up on the date release. But all I know is that the only original band member that's still in the band, Steve Harris, the bass player, has stated in an interview before and after the album was released and all these things about saying Iron Maiden was only going to have 15 releases. And what that means is The Final Frontier is the 15th release, and that was it. But since then, since this is 2012 and the album came out 2 years ago, I would say that they've all stated in interviews, every single band member has said that there's probably one more album, and that's right, because you can't just end Iron Maiden's legend. They can't end with just one album. It has to end with a two-parter. But they wrote this album thinking it was their last. So I'm going to look at it as if it was their last, because this album defines the band and really shows them for who they are, and this album really stands out, I think, in their wide range of albums they've released over the years. They really put themselves into this. Now, there's two key things I want to talk about that I really didn't get, or I just don't understand why there wasn't more of it. But I want to get to the two little things I have a little problems with, and then I'm going to get into all the good stuff that you would love to hear from this album if you've not heard it. And if you've not heard it by now, then I don't know why you're watching this video. I guess you're just like, well, I want to know, but I think you should already know about this album and should have heard some stuff. Anyways, the two main things that I have issues with. Number one is the opening of Satellite 15. Now, not the exact right at 0001 second the song starts. Right as the song starts on Satellite 15, the opener track for this album, it sounds really good, it's really catchy, it's really like a jamming thing. It's getting you set up for what you're about to hear. But then at about 2 minutes to 4 minutes into this 8-minute track, I believe. Let me check to see. It's an 8-minute track. It's an 8-minute 40 track. But about 2 minutes to 4 minutes in, the song has this weird thing where it's just, I don't know, it's just like weird noise. I don't feel it. I don't feel that part. Now, that's only about the 2 minute to 4 minute part. The very beginning of the song, really cool jam part, really awesome stuff, but it gets just kind of weird. I don't know. I've listened to this album 3 or 4 good times through all the way, and I've re-listened to some tracks to really highlight that. But that opening at that 2 minute to 4 minute, I don't really enjoy it, and I don't know what else to say. I just don't really catch feel. But then after that, when the song actually kicks in with an actual riff that from Iron Maiden is going to give you on this album, the song actually turns to be really, really good, and it really stands out. Now, the one other key thing is, it's not present on the whole album, but I really felt like Bruce Dickinson didn't really scream and really let out his vocals a lot, in the fact of he didn't do the high screams. I'm not talking about his singing or the lyrical content or his actual, saying the lyrics or anything, or his voice. I'm saying is there wasn't enough high yells that people have known from Iron Maiden. Now, I know he can do it live, so I don't know why he didn't do this. Maybe they were trying to take it back and really push themselves to write better music for the fans. I'm not really sure, but that was one key thing. That there are some high moments and high yelling, but I was expecting more. But it's okay, because I think he makes that up for the singing abilities that he still has on this record, and it really stands out. His lyrical content's really good. I want to get that out of the way. He's really great on this album. Besides, if you're used to listening to Bruce Dickinson on every single song of an Iron Maiden song do a high yell, you're not going to get it on this album. But if you like Bruce Dickinson, his great lyrical content, and he has great vocals, and he does some great singing parts, then you are down. You're going to love this album for sure. Now, El Dorado, I really like that song. I'm not going to highlight every single song, but I'm going to highlight the ones that I really enjoy, and then I'll give you a thing of the whole. El Dorado stood out because my number one favorite band's Metallica. El Dorado starts off with this, sounds like Hit the Lights opening track. But then it jumps off into, if you know this song, then if you don't know this, then I advise you to go check it out. It's a song called Barracuda by Heart, and after that whole playing the same riff, El Dorado, they kick into this bass and guitar riff that sounds like Barracuda from Heart, which is not a metal band, but I know of the song, and I was like, wow, that sounds really crazy. But some highlight songs I also want to get to is Coming Home. I really enjoyed that song, some great sections. That song really stood up top to me from this album, really raised the bar, I think. The Talisman really stood out too. I really enjoyed that opening part on the little acoustic guitar bit. I really did enjoy that a lot. This one song I want to jump off to, The Man Who Would Be King. That song, I really enjoyed the melody intro, and I really enjoyed how they were taking it, but then it throws you off, and then boom, it hits you with this really awesome harmonizing bit that really stood out. And this album has a great solo, and it really showed on this album, on that song. That song raised the bar even more. But then, of course, the ending track, When the Wild Wind Blows, blew everything out of the water. I felt like Iron Maiden sat down, we have to write a song that will define our whole entire legacy, define our music, and define us. And I feel like When the Wild Wind Blows defines that, with its epic melody parts, epic little haunting riff that they have as the second part, and really great lyrics from Bruce Dickinson. Has a lot of great riff changes, a lot of cool riffs, a lot of headbanging riffs, a lot of catchy grooves. And they also have, of course, as you come to love and know Iron Maiden, the epic harmonizing guitar bits, and it has some of the best guitar solos on the album. I feel like When the Wild Wind Blows, hands down, is the best song on this album. And if you've not heard this album, you have to go. The first song you need to check out is When the Wild Wind Blows, because that song, I feel like, defines the band in a whole. And this whole album, each individual song in its own aspect gives you something that you will take from it and go, wow, that was amazing, that's a great part. And it wants you to rewind the song and re-listen to it. And I think When the Wild Wind Blows, when you get to that track, you're going to re-listen to it over and over and over, because there's always something new to catch your eye and to catch your ear, and like, wow, this sounds really good. And it really stands out. And that's what I love about this album, because each individual song, like I said, has an individual part that you will take from it and go, that's really good. And that's what Iron Maiden's known for, is they're either going to make you love the whole song, or there's going to be certain sections in that song where you just like, that is amazing. That is awesome. And I felt like this whole album just really stands out. Now, let me get to the individual band members, and I'll talk about some of their stuff. Steve Harris, the bass player, I talked about him in the beginning of the video. His bass is, of always, in every Iron Maiden album, it's so audible, you can hear the bass. He has some great bass lines, really noticeable on When the Wild Wind Blows, the intro with the melody bits. He just really stood out, and he wrote some great bass lines. He is a bass player to be reckoned with. He really pushed himself, I think, to make this album the best, because in his mind and at the band's mind, they were going to be the last records. I know Steve Harris, who's the only original band member left in the band, really like, I have to push myself. And this, like, at the time, this is the last record, I need to push myself, so that's what he did. Now, Dave Murray, Adrian Smith, and I hope I'm saying this right, Janik Gers, I could be wrong, they have 3 guitarists, and I felt like each individual guitar player probably stood out and wrote some solos for different songs, but I think there's either 3 or 4 guitar solos. It's really hard to tell When the Wild Wind Blows, but it feels like, to me, each individual guitar player has their own spot for a guitar solo, and I think that's what happened. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. But they really stood up to the plate, because this album has your headbanging riffs, your groove riffs, your melody parts, a lot of melody parts in this album. So if you love melody parts from Iron Maiden, you love this melody soft stuff, this is on this album, you're going to love it. And I think the guitar players, each individual, all of them, they really stood out, and they really took it an extra step to make this album amazing, and a lot of great harmonizing bits. They really stand out. Now, Nico, drummer, I felt like he pushed himself too, because I felt like each individual band member, as I said before, has push themselves to the limit. But Nico, you know, all these years of him playing drums for Iron Maiden, he has not skipped a beat. He is still up to par with the rest of the band, and that's a lot of things. You know when you're a good musician when you start out in a band and throughout these years you can still play good and you can still play better than you were before. I feel like Nico has improved, and he's really great drumming on this album, really stands out. And it's obvious that he's not skipped a beat because he writes some great drum sections. It's really awesome. Bruce Dickinson, like I said before, great vocals, great lyrics, great everything. He's really great on this album. Everybody on this album is great, and I would give this album a 9.75 out of 10 because of my two little things. But basically, this album is basically a perfect album in Iron Maiden fans' view. In my view, like a view of just looking at it as a metal perspective, I would have to say 9.75 out of 10. I wouldn't shy it away. Some people, I would argue maybe it's a 10, but my little issues. But that is the video, guys. So comment down below and let me know what you think about this album. Let me know what your favorite Iron Maiden song off this album is, or let me know what your favorite song in general of Iron Maiden is, and make sure you comment down below and let me know, and I will see you guys on... Hey guys, real quick for this video actually ends. I know it just ended it, but I want to throw out these two little videos you might have missed, and a little promotion to somebody I just discovered, and I want to give a little promotion because I told her I would. Anyways, to the videos. Now, number one, right up here on this top section, hopefully you're seeing this right, that is the video of discussing Metallica's 2012 Summer Tour. Go check that out and see my opinions on some things, and go comment down below. Let me know what you think about that. The second video is going to be right about here in the middle, is about the latest Weekly Metal Topic. Weekly Metal Topic is coming out tomorrow because this video is coming out on Thursday. But go check it out, Instrumentals and Metal, and go check that stuff out. Now, these two are deleted now. All right here should be a big thing about promoting a new person I just discovered named Daughter of Vampire. She's a really great reviewer. She actually did a review of The Final Frontier, and I just discovered that video, watched it, and it was really good. So you can go check her stuff out. Go subscribe to her. She's really awesome. And there you go. There's your promotion. And I will see you all on Friday.